Conde del Venadito was a Velasco-class unprotected cruiser of the Spanish Navy. It was built at the naval shipyard at Cartagena, Spain in 1883, and was completed and launched 5 years later. In 1895, she unsuccessfully attempted to sink the American merchant ship Allianca off Cape Macy, Cuba, under the suspicion that she was smuggling arms to the Cuban insurgents. She was stricken from the register in 1907 and was finally sunk in 1936 as a target ship. Conde del Venadito was built at the naval shipyard at Cartagena, Spain. Her keel was laid in 1883, she was launched on August 15, 1888, and she was completed in 1888 or 1889. The vessel displaced 1,190 long tons, 1,210 t, of water and was 210 feet 64 meters long, length between perpendiculars, with a 32 feet 9.8 meters beam, while still maintaining a draft of 13 feet 8 in, 4.17 m. She was powered by one shaft, horizontal compound, 4 cylindrical boilers, normally containing 200 to 220 tons, 220 to 240 short tons, of coal, which helped her reach a speed of 14 knots, 26 kilometers per hour. Her armament consisted of 4 4.7-inch, 119 millimeters, guns, 4 6-pounder, 57 millimeters, guns, 1 machine gun and 2 14-in, 356 millimeters, torpedo tubes operated by a crew of 173 officers and enlisted men. She had one rather tall funnel, an iron hull, and was ready as a bark. She participated in the quadcentennial of Christopher Columbus's discovery of the New World. The royal family of the United Kingdom used the ship for the large reception. The Monday after the celebration, at 8 a.m., when the ships of other nations were leaving, the ship with the royal family passed the line of ships as they waved goodbye. During 1894, she was part of the Training and Evolutionary Squadron of the Spanish Navy, which was located off the coast of Cuba, which was announced by the Spanish Minister of Marine earlier that year. In March 1895, Conde del Venadito was involved in an incident with the American merchant ship Allianca off Cape Macy, Cuba. The Spanish ship attempted to stop Allianca for search on suspicion of filibustering, or smuggling arms to the insurgents in Cuba. The American ship failing to stop, the Spanish vessel fired several solid shots at the merchant ship during an unsuccessful chase of about 20 miles, 32 kilometers. This touched off much sensational reporting in the American press and is credited by many with crystallizing anti-Spanish sentiment in the American public in the years preceding the Spanish-American War. In the Spanish-American War, Conde del Venadito was first recorded at the port of Santiago de Cuba on April 20. She first saw real action in the war when defending Havana. She first steamed out of the harbor alongside Nueva España on May 14 at 4:20 p.m. She maneuvered in reaction to the U.S. gunboats, while firing 2 shots 17 kilometers 11 miles from the U.S. ships, which retreated to 20 kilometers 12 miles from her. She and Nueva España retreated with Aguila and Flecha at dusk. At night, the U.S. vessels occupied the harbor. Whether the shots had any effect is not known, due to the distance from which they were fired. On June 10 at 8:30 a.m., the Conde del Venadito, Nueva España, Flecha, and the Yan Espinzon appeared 1 kilometer 0.62 miles offshore, and soon fired at Battery No. 1. From 3.8 kilometers 2.4 miles. The U.S. vessel started firing at the 4 ships from a distance of 10 kilometers 6.2 miles. The fire was accurate at first, until the 4 Spanish boats backed up to 15 kilometers 9.3 miles from the U.S. ships, and, at 1:30 p.m., the U.S. ships entered the harbor. She was stricken from the register in 1907. Her hull was later sunk as a target ship in 1936.